Hey, good afternoon. We're going to get started here in about a minute, but we're just getting booted up here. And for those of you who are logging in, we're going to be having a lot of information to get through in a short period of time today. So if you want to just say hi and wave to me, you can, or something like that. But I can't see through your camera, so you got to do it through the comments, and then we can respond from there as well. Looks like we got about 4 of you on here so far. I apologize for doing this live show so short notice. I've had this in this works for about 2.5 weeks, but life has not gone the way I had planned. And so this has kind of gotten really uptight, and we wanted to get it out here as quick as we can. It might not be quite as polished as normal, but we're going to have fun doing it. So I want to welcome you all here. We're going to get started here. We're excited to look at the things that are happening back at the store. Today, we have the full house on staff today. We have all the employees of the store are working today. So it's a good day to come in because you're probably going to get someone to help you right away. It's been a lot of fun over the last year or so to see people stepping up to the plate at our store and taking on new responsibilities. But we've also been spread a little thin at times because our store has grown and we've gotten a lot busier. But I'm also so glad to have Jeremiah back. Jeremiah has worked with me for what? He worked for what? 3 years?
Around 3 years, yeah.
About 3 years he worked with me here, and he did a lot of service work back in the service department. He did really good, got a lot of the machines done. And in fact, he went for 1.5 years to serve at Mountain View Nursing Home in the state of Virginia. And he learned all about CNA work, and you're ready to change your careers now, right?
From CNA.
You want to go? You want to go back to being a CNA?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, he's glad to be back, and we're glad to have him back. And he's going to be taking over some of the role in the front of the store, helping to help you, our customers. He's also going to be doing some of the bookkeeping back in the back as well, and it's going to relieve some of the pressure from me for some of the things that we've done, and hopefully we can get back to being a little more regular in some of our classes. So that's one of the things we got going on. We're glad to have you back, Jeremiah.
Thank you.
And I'm sure these ladies will be glad to come in and say hi. He just had a birthday. Sorry, I got to shut this thing up or that's going to drive me crazy. I don't like having my phone on in there. He just had a birthday. And if you come in the next, let's say, what is today? If you come in by, let's say this week, if you come in through the 17th, you can correctly guess his age, you'll get a free spool of thread up to $5. So there you go. You can think about that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jeremiah.
No problem.
Okay, some of the things we got going on here I wanted to pass on to you. We currently have our annual floor model sale. And the way the floor model sale is that we want you to be able to sew on the machines. And so we have machines out on the floor that are set up, ready to go, so you can play with that. And so you can actually sew on them because you're going to be the one sewing on them at home. And I don't want you just to trust us to say how it feels. I want you to be able to feel it yourself. But in order to do that, we have to have machines out and we have to have people sew on them. And then once a year, we discount those machines to move them on. And so we can always keep fresh machines in our stock. And this is where you get to save some significant money. We mark everything down 10% out there on the floor, unless it's had significant wear, and then we mark it down more. And this means everything from the $400 machine that has sat there as for a demo, if it's still out there, that gets 10% off of it, the whole way up to the Infinity with a Pro Stitcher. And then you know how much those things cost. They all get marked down 10%. The sad thing about it is I only have one machine in each model to do that on. And so there's some machines that have already been sold, but there's a lot out there that still have the tags on them. And we're going to be running that through at least next week yet. So if you are interested in a machine, now might be a good time to look at one because the prices are really good on a lot of these things out there. And the nice thing about a floor model machine is that we've tested it, we sewed on it, we know it works, and the warranty is exactly the same from the manufacturer as if we had taken it out of the box. So it's up to you, but that's something else that's pretty cool. One of the things that's actually also really nice is the fact that we now have a fabric sale going on. And the fabric sale is simply we are trying to keep rotating stuff through. We want to be able to um, turn over our inventory, keep getting new ideas in. Every fabric manufacturer is coming out with new stuff all the time. And so if something is sitting on the floor, it's beautiful fabric, it's perfectly good, but maybe it just hasn't moved as much, we're moving it out. And so this is some of the fabric that already has $5 marked off of that. Now that's about a 25% discount on fabric, and that's until it's gone, it's gone. And we also have a bunch of, this is all Cuddle fabric that's pictured here, but we have another whole bench up there full of cotton fabric for quilting, some of the Kimberbell fabrics and some other ones as well that we're marking down just to try and keep moving everything else. Hey, good afternoon to y'all. Some of you are leaving comments up there. It's good to see you, and good to see those comments coming in. So that's going to be coming up here. That's going on right now, and just keep an eye on it because we're going to keep doing this on a regular basis so that we can keep moving things through and keep fresh stuff coming in to invigorate you with all the new things that are coming out. So just to give you an illustration, my daughter went and she found one of the companies we sell for is Shannon Cuddle, and they have this free pattern on this little lined my train of thought derailed at the last station. Christmas stocking. There we go. That's what. Oh, what's the matter with me? But this is used with, you can kind of see it. It feels like Sherpa on the top. And then it has this nice little snowflake pattern. This is just one of the fabrics we have, but it's a nice little pattern. It's really simple to do. And we actually, you know what? I don't even have it in here. We actually have a Cuddle Day. No, it's not. It's a Cuddle Project Day coming up next month, where we're going to be having where you can come in and sew on this type of material, and we're going to take the fear factor out of it and show you why it can be so much fun to sew with. But we have to actually have it made up into kits, and the kits have the printed instructions in color, and they have enough in there for 2 stockings, and they cost $45. So it's a great little way to get started on that right now. And if you purchase one of those and then you come to our open sew day, the first Friday of the month, then you get to have us help you and do some fun things like that. So kind of a great little project and what we can do there. So I got a bunch of events to talk about, a bunch of classes and events and things like that coming up here. And so I want to run through them fairly quickly, and we're going to try and keep this rolling because I got a lot of things to go with. So the biggest thing is we have sold a lot of long arm quilting machines over the last 2.5, 3 years. And I was kind of wondering, what can I do to support you as our customers and in encouraging you to learn more things, to broaden your horizons, to take the fear out of it. Because yeah, it's a lot of money. And like one gal said, she sees it sitting there and she's scared because she did one quilt on it. And now she's kind of forgot a little bit how to do this, and she doesn't know how to go back to it. And so what we're doing is we're starting a Longarm Club, and we're actually having our first class tomorrow. That's why I said I had planned to have this webinar or this live show 2 weeks ago, and so that you'd have to have time to prepare ahead for us. And I feel bad. Some of you called this morning and I thought, oh, I didn't get this information out there, because we called all of our Handy Quilter customers, and we either tried to leave a message, or if there was no answer, we didn't leave a message. But we tried to call everyone back about 2 weeks ago to let them know that we're starting this club, but we forgot to give the time. And so it's going to start tomorrow morning at 10:30, and we're going to have this every month. And it's going to include 3 different segments. It's going to include a segment of social networking, is what I call it. You know, maybe someone's trying to find where they can get Hobbs 80/20, or someone's using a type of thread that's giving them grief, and they might ask questions. Do any of you guys have this problem? How did you solve it? Maybe some of you have quilts that you're taking in from other customers that are horribly out of square. It's none of the ones from local here, but and so you want to know, how can I solve this. And this is a way that we'll have some time to interact back and forth as people, as different long armors. Now, it's only for people who own long arms. It's not for people who are looking to buy it, because this is going to be for support for those who already own. But it's going to be open to all brands, because the other segment we're going to have in there is a class. And we're going to be showing some of these techniques on our long arm machine, on our handy quilter machines, but they're techniques we're going to try and keep them as universally applicable to many different types of machines out there. Things like ruler safety, machine maintenance, and the one we're doing this month is going to be tensions. And we're going to be talking about some of the tools that are out there, that can help you work with threads that otherwise give a lot of people headaches. And so we're going to be talking about that. And then we're also going to have a portion of the class is going to be for show and tell, or how would you quilt it? So let's say maybe you have a long arm and you have this quilt that you want to quilt, but how would you do this? Where would you put this? Where would you have this laid out? You can bring it into the class and we'll spread it out on the tables, and we'll gather around and maybe get some ideas. And if someone wants to demonstrate, we can even put down the quilter's preview paper and get out the dry erase magic markers, and you can actually trace it out on, and you can see what it's going to actually look like on the quilt. It's a great opportunity for us to get inspiration from each other and to help pass on what we have. So it's kind of fun. We're also going to be showing some different gadgets as from time to time, and I have a really cool one. It's a really neat one, and it's a very tiny one. And I'm actually going to give one free to everyone who comes tomorrow. But I need you to bring along a little Ziploc bag. That's all I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to show you a little trick that can take some of the frustrations out of your needle changes. So there you go. So that's what's happening tomorrow morning at 10:30. And then we'll be doing this on a monthly basis. And I'm hoping to get the next one updated or uploaded here in the next, probably in the next week, that I hope to have next month's listed and everything that's going to be there, because it will be listed on our calendar. I just didn't get it. And let me talk about that a little bit. With having so many different classes that we want to do, I can't teach all of them. Jan can't teach all of them. Trudy and Lorraine can't teach all of theirs. We're dividing them up. And so this is going to be kind of the one I'm in charge of, is going to be doing this. And then Jan is going to be in charge of the Embroidery Club every month. Keith is going to be doing a scan and cut club, hopefully every month. And Trudy and Lorraine are going to be working on, they're going to be doing the Cuddle sewing, Cuddle material class. And they're going to be doing some fun things with that periodically. We might even get an educator in on that. But we're going to be dividing the responsibilities up, so hopefully we can get this done on a more regular basis. So tomorrow afternoon is going to be a Pro Stitcher Club, because in the morning it's going to be long arm, and that's going to be for any manufacturer out there: APQS, Gamble, Knowlting, A1, Grace, Baby Lock, everything out there. And then in the afternoon, though, is going to be Pro Stitcher, and that's going to be only for our handy quilter customers. That's those who have either bought their machines with us or been adopted by us. And that's where we're going to kind of divide it into two portions. One is going to be, we're going to be teaching some skills. It's not going to be the uber basic skills, but we're going to be hitting some of those as well. But we're also going to be teaching some of the workarounds we have. If there's something that's giving us a problem, and here's how we can solve it. Here's what you can do. And it's a great resource for building upon what has been happening in the past. And so that is coming up tomorrow afternoon. Now, it's going to be happening at 1 o'clock. And like I said, it's only for our owners. If you have bought a handy quilter machine somewhere else and you want to be adopted by us, please give us a call and let us know, and we can work with you through that. The reason we're saying only for our owners is so that we know what training you've had, because that's one of the things that's big to us. And we also know what machine you have and how it's being maintained, and we have that relationship going. We don't want this to be a class where every month someone's coming in and say, how do I make an area, or how do I crop a design? We want to move past that into some of the other things. And that's where we want to be a little cautious about who all we have coming into this class. So the next class we've got coming up after that, and that's going to be tomorrow. But the next class we have coming up is a scan and cut class, and this is one that Keith is doing. It is going to be held September 29th, and it's going to be this little glow box. So this is what it looks like during the in the light. That's what it looks like in the dark, and he's going to be showing you how to make that with your scan and cut. It's a great little project for learning how to do it. That's going to be September 29th, and there is a $5 registration fee that is on our website. And our website is sobamiji.com, and you go there and you click on the classes, and that will be what we're doing there. We also have 2 Kimberbell events coming up. The Kimberbell Harvest Table is going to be held on September 30th, and that is going to be a one-day class. We're going to be doing, I think it's either 3 or 4 projects. They had a back order on their kits, and they're supposed to be getting here today. And then we will be making those up, and we'll post pictures of them on our Facebook page if you want to take a look at them. And we'll probably update this listing with some more of those pictures here as soon as we get those projects made. But it's a fun one-day event, and registration is open for that now if you're interested in that. The next class we got coming up as well is going to be on the Kimberbell Winter Wonderland. That's October 28th and 29th. That is a 2-day class. That's embroidery. We're going to be making 5 projects like we have before. And this is a really fun one coming up just before Christmas time. It is a great event for getting some of those projects and for decorating for the Christmas season. And let's see here. Get my notes here. Yeah, so those 2 are coming up. We're excited about that. If you don't have an embroidery machine, you can come in, you could give us a call, and we will set you up to make sure we have an embroidery machine here for you to use. Now, if you want to sew all by yourself, there's a charge. If you're willing to share with someone else, there's not a charge for the rental of the machine. There's still a charge for the class, but not to rent the machine. And we're doing that because there's some people that kind of want to get started, kind of want to play a little bit, but they're not sure if they really are going to like it. Well, by all means, we'll provide a machine for you to try and utilize for that. But there's also some people that they just don't want to haul their machine in. And I can't keep opening up new machines and putting them out on the floor for those types of events. And so that's where we're a little cautious about just doing that. And there's always a little bit of a charge in there. So that is what is going to be coming up in classes. And then there's one more class, 2 more classes. One is going to, or 2 more events. One is going to be our quilt retreat. We're currently planning that, and we're probably going to be looking at, again, the first part of November. We have not scheduled that completely yet, but that is where we're looking at this point. And also pay attention to the store's calendar and look for a class for that Cuddle Fabric Day. If you've never sewed with a Cuddle fabric before, because it's like Minky. Well, Minky is a different fabric than Shannon. Minky stretches both ways. Shannon only stretches one. And there's some really neat tips to be able to do it. And my daughter's been sewing with it for going on 3 years now. And there's a lot of things that she's learned, and we're looking forward to showing that with you. It's a lot of fun. My kids all got cuddle blankets for their birthdays this past year. And in the mornings, like this morning, it was cold outside because we had the windows all open. So that was really chilly inside as well. Everyone's gathered around the living room in our cuddle blankets, and it was great. You know, it was kind of fun to all be there. It's not really hard at all to do this, but it is scary at first when you've never worked with some of those fabrics, or maybe you've worked with them and didn't know, and you started getting lots of problems or puckering and shifting, and how do we solve that? And there's some good tips that we'll have for you along that way. But the other thing is there is a Handy Quilter workshop coming up in November. We've oftentimes done a Handy Quilter workshop in May, and we're going to do another one in May, which will be a 5-day event. And this is going to be a smaller 4-day event. We're only going to be getting 6 machines in. And it's the first 2 days are going to be for newbies, or for like people who just bought their machines, or those who are maybe interested in getting a machine, but they kind of want to test the waters. That's what those 2 days are designed for. And the second 2 days is going to be split up between advanced pro stitcher, pro stitcher designer, and then advanced or quilting techniques, things like specialty feet, working with some of the techniques of quilting in the space of like putting on binding of your quilts. It's not hard to do, but it's kind of like, how am I supposed to do that? And it's really something that we're going to try and take some of those things, those questions out there for you. Let's see here. Oh, I see. I got a question here. Will there be any evening classes? It's hard to come during the day with work schedules. That's a good question, Angie. At this point, we haven't talked about that too much, but I guess I would like to hear in the classes or in the comments if you would prefer to have like a club in the evening for those of you who are working or something. Please let me know, because the reality is that some people hate driving at nighttime, especially in the winter, and they won't come to an evening class. And there's other people that work during the day and they can't come to a day class. So if there's enough of interest, we can maybe do the same thing, the same class we did in the morning. Maybe we can do that in the evening at like 5:30 or so. So leave a message in the comments if you think that would be something you'd be interested in, and we'll go from there. And I'm all about scratching where it itches. And if someone has a need and we can fill that, and there's enough of interest in there to make it worthwhile, absolutely. And by worthwhile, it doesn't mean that it's going to be bringing a lot more money into it. It's just that it's hard to make big plans for classes for one or two people. But if we have enough of it, then we can do this training there, and that takes weight and pressure off of us in other places. Okay, that is all we have coming up. Oh, by the way, back to the Handy Quilter. One more thing. There is a price increase coming in October. I just got notice of that last week, and it's ouch. Shipping costs are going through the roof. Material costs are going up. When I was out at Handy Quilter in June, they were talking about some of the boards that they used in their machines might have cost $35 and back 2 years ago. And now those exact same boards from the exact same place are over $300. It's the chip shortages, and there's a lot of those things that are taking place. And Handy Quilter has eaten a lot of those losses, or those cost increases, I should say. And they're really working with that to try, and they're going to have to try and start doing something with that. So there's a major price increase coming up in October. But we have our floor model sale, which could save you literally about $3,000 over the price increase coming up for tomorrow. Yeah, if you buy our floor model, it's probably going to be about $3,000 cheaper than buying a brand new one in October. So just keep that in mind. We got that's nothing we can do. Okay, we've added a few new machines in here, and for some of you know what a Juki machine is. Other people don't. Juki has been around for many years, and they've been known as an industrial machine company. And one of the reasons we started carrying them was because the biggest dealership that supplied these machines to the Midwest down in Minneapolis, TJ Elias, closed their doors permanently in the end of April. And we used to send people down there because they were able to supply machines for just as cheap or cheaper than we could. And we didn't want to kind of expand that line at all because we didn't have the extra resources or help. Well, now they've come out with some new machines, and these machines are not just for the sweatshops. I mean, we have machines in here that will sew through a 1/2 inch of leather. We have sergers in here that are whisper quiet and extremely fast if you want a serger like that. We have a cover stitch machine, and we're working on getting a long arm format machine in here as well. But right now they're currently back ordered. They're supposed to be shipping out sometime here in September. But this machine right here, this is the Juki DDL 8000A. This is a straight stitch machine. I believe it has about, I want to say 12 to 13 inches to the right of the needle. And it does only one thing, straight stitch. But it does a beautiful straight stitch, and it sews extremely fast. Now, most of your home sewing machines are between 800 to maybe 1,000 stitches a minute. Shinomi has their M7, which I believe does 1,300 stitches a minute, maybe 1,400 stitches a minute. And this machine will go up to 4,000 stitches a minute. So for you that like to strip piece and go blazing fast, this is a machine that you need to come in and take a look at. It also has where it'll automatically lift the presser foot up and down. It'll stop with the needle in the up or the down position. It has a thread cutter for both top and bottom. And it has automatic reverse at the beginning and the end of every stitch or every seam if that's what you would like. It's a very, very user-friendly machine. It is designed for people who like to sew a lot, but not necessarily for the people who are sewing, 18 hours a day. Like this, we would go with a slightly more expensive machine than this if we were going to put them in a place like Anderson Fabrics and Black Duck. And the nice thing with this one is that they're not as expensive as people think. I mean, this machine here, it comes with the stand. It comes with, if you want to pay $100 more, you can get casters with it so that it can roll around easily. Just the head. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah. Just the head, which is this part right in here, weighs about 70 pounds. Okay. It's solid metal. It's heavy, but it is built tough. And you can just go through. I mean, I was sewing through cotton fabric that was about almost half of an inch thick, right over top of it and back down to 2 layers of cotton, and I didn't break a thread. Now that's pretty sweet to be doing with any machine, and they're holding up. So what do you think something like this costs? Sheila asked, does it have a thread trimmer? Yes, it does. It'll automatically trim the thread, and you don't have to push a button. You just simply rock your foot back on the presser foot, and it'll cut the thread and lift the presser foot for you, so you can take the material out. Then you come back, put the material underneath it, push down the pedal, it lowers the foot, and away you go. So it has both of those. What do you think these things cost? Just go ahead and throw a couple comments in the market. This machine right here, what do you think this machine costs? The reason I say this is we had the Quilt Guild here the other night, and I was showing some of them. And actually, I just delivered a machine to one of them this afternoon, and they had a pretty significant guess of what they were. I mean, they're kind of all over the ballpark, and everyone was very surprised when I told them what it cost. Sheila also asked, does it have a needle threader? No. If you look over here, you see how narrow this is. You can see very, very well what's going on here, but there's no room in this for a needle threader attachment. So that is a bummer. But it is it does not have a threader on it. But yeah, it's industrial, and most industrials don't have those types of things. So we got $2,200 from Robin. We have Linda, $800. Dana says $1,500. Brenda, $1,300. Sheila, $3,300. Yeah, so there's a lot of questions on your Janet, $999.99. Hey, the price is right. There we go, Janet. No, the price on this machine, set up, ready to go out the door, is $14,999 or $100 more if you want the casters. That's a pretty sweet price. Some of you have seen the Juki, like the TL98Es, which have that 9 inches of space to the right of the needle, and they're portable. You can carry them around. Those ones are now about $1,200. And so here you have a machine that has more space to the right of the needle, faster, built better, automatic oiler built into it. It is a very, very nice deal. So that is some of the things that we have there. I'll hide there. That is some of the things we like about these machines. Is this going to replace your machine that does buttonholes and blanket stitches and zigzags? No. But for those of you who do a lot of quilting or do a lot of sewing where it's all straight stitch, this is a serious consideration for something that you can do your strip piecing very, very quickly, and it does a very nice, secure stitch in it. So when next time you're in the store, take a look at it, and we'll go from there. Lastly, on my list that I want to talk about is Brother machines. The Brothers Sewing Machines, they've come out with some new machines and some upgrades this fall. But the problem is supply chain issues. And I just heard from my rep that our upgrades for the Luminaire machines are all supposed to be delivered by the end of September. And currently, I think we have 14 on back order and 15 that we have ordered. So it's important that if you are seriously about wanting an upgrade for your Luminaire, please let us know as soon as possible. They also came out with a jet air threading serger, and it looks like a nice serger, but we already carry the Janome serger. And when I have put the Brothers sergers and the Janome sergers side by side, the Janome sergers have usually had a slight edge up in quality. And so while the price is almost the same, and I want to see one of these in person. I did not get to go to B2B in Tennessee this year. And so I'm going to kind of wait until I can get one of them in to play with it before we start carrying them permanently in the store. But those are some of the things that we have coming up here. Just those of you, and some of you have been very, very patiently waiting for these new updates and new hoops to come out. We're getting there. It's just we're not quite there yet. So that's what I have for you for today. A lot of information. If there's any questions or if there's any things you would like to see me address in the future, please be sure to leave it in the comments. We still read comments after the live show is over. So please comment in there whatever you'd like. Thank you all for tuning in. And we look forward to seeing you sometime again in the near future. Oh, one more thing. Back to the Brother machine, the Brother updates. Once we get all those upgrades out there, we will be scheduling a day where we'll have those who want to bring their machines in, and we'll go through what all those new features are, how to use them, and kind of a refresher on those machines. So until then, take care, God bless, and have a blessed day.